folks, Ian Smith here with Kellian Hockey. What I'm going to show you today is the Mohawk. Mohawk simply is your skates point in different directions. That's, right now, that's the Mohawk. Traditionally, when I grew up playing, the only time the Mohawk would show up is when a defenseman or a player was going forward and they transition to backwards. That right there is the Mohawk. Then Sidney Crosby shows up on the scene and he starts using it as an offensive strategy. I'm sure other people were using it, but he definitely made it popular, where he's able to come around with the puck and use it as a way to open up and see the ice. So he's using that going around the net, changing directions. So it is now an offensive thing. So for me, there's a bunch of ways that the Mohawk can be used. One, it's still the transition from forward backwards. There's the Mohawk. The other way is a puck protection technique. So imagine that I have a defender. Here's my defender right there. And then I'm coming this way and I want to protect the puck with a Mohawk. Keep going. So there's a Mohawk that way. So puck protection. And then the third way to use it is to fake. It makes it look like you're either going to pass the puck or you're going to do a tight turn. So for example, if I'm coming this way and I want to do a turn, I turn my back on you. So for a defender who's defending that, seeing a player turn their back to me, I might want to cut them off at the pass when I can see that they're turning. So a Mohawk, in that sense, looks awfully similar, where you're coming around, you're turning your back, looks like you're going. So it's a fake. So you can, the defender might bite, they might not bite, but it's definitely used as a way to fake plays. Defensemen, you'll see Cale Makar use this kind of thing. So here we are along the blue line, and what he'll do is walk across the blue line, doing a Mohawk, faking like he's passing over this way, coming across, faking that way, and going forward. So yet another way to fake. So the Mohawk has, it's one for transition, it's used for puck protection, and it's used as a fake. Okay, so here's the trick about the Mohawk. And as a skill development coach, I've been teaching the Mohawk a lot. Not necessarily that players are going to use it, but what it really does is it teaches you balance. It teaches you that when we're doing it, you're not on two skates. You're not balancing. Even though this is a Mohawk, that's not how we use it. We use it by transitioning our weight from one skate to the other. So all my weight is on one skate, then the other, one skate, then the other. What that does for your balance is it really improves your skating technique. So when I teach the Mohawk, I teach it how to do it when you're skating forwards. And then when I ask my kids to transition from forward to backwards, they can all do it properly instead of the classic kind of two-skate turn like that, where they're not lifting their feet. So Mohawk as a way to work on your balance is an excellent strategy. Okay, so the technique, I see a lot of players when they're working on their Mohawk, they're skating along, and I want them to do a Mohawk, and what ends up happening is it looks like this. They're skating, and I say, do a Mohawk, and it's kind of like going behind them. They're trying to put their foot behind them, but it ends up becoming a bit of a mess, where they're turning their foot, but it's not done properly. The reason for that is, again, the player is on, when they're doing that, first of all, their shoulders are straight when I'm skating this way. When I do a Mohawk and turn to this foot, my shoulders need to turn sideways in order for this to work. The other thing that needs to happen is all of your weight needs to go to the back leg. So we transition from the front, where all my weight is right now, and I have very little weight to none on this foot. So my chin is over this leg. And then when I transition to my back leg, I turn my shoulders, but then I also put all my weight on my back foot. So I'm not actually, having my skate, like in terms of hip mobility, I'm not that great at it, but I don't need to, because I'm turning my shoulders in order to do that. So if you look at my shoulders, they turn from forward to sideways, forward and sideways. So even when I come at you, when I'm doing my Mohawk, it's not a straight move. It is kind of circular, where I'm going in forward and forward again. If you look at my shoulders, how they turn. Now, the way I like to teach that is, the trick is to use your stick when you're learning. Is my stick is forward, and you're going to be using a puck when you're doing these techniques as a puck protection and as a fake. So you put two hands on your stick, and you're going to take your stick from in front and put it onto the side. And when you put it onto the side, that's going to turn your shoulders. So my stick is forward, stick is sideways, and then it's forward again. So when you enter the Mohawk, you put your weight, like if I'm going to Mohawk on my right leg, I'm going to put my weight on my front left. Right now it's all there. Then I'm going to rotate my shoulders and my stick to the side, and then put my weight on my back, push back to my front. Okay? And you watch that again. Front, push, front. Okay? Even on the other side, it's the same situation, where I would start on my right side, push. Okay? So that's how we're going to do it without a puck. My favorite way to teach this move for players who are learning how to do it is to keep your one skate, your lead skate, on the ice at the whole time. And then your back skate is going to be the one that pushes. So what I do is put one skate on the ice the whole time, turn, push. Back to the beginning. Turn, push. Now if you look at this skate, so I'll go the other way. If you watch the right skate, I'm pushing this foot all the way behind me in order to get that push. So right now I'm in this Mohawk position. And then so while I'm doing this, I put my weight on this back foot so I can push, and then I'll go back to my front leg. But my front leg doesn't leave the ice. So here I am, push, push, push. On the same thing on the other way. This leg goes way behind me. I turn my shoulders, and then I push, and then I push. So once you get that down, what I'd start doing is starting to lift your front foot off the ice. So when you're pushing, your front foot comes off the ice. And you can start to hear the back foot really dig in to that ice when you are pushing. That's kind of what we want to have happen.